design to me is not art, and art is not design. It's similar and it overlaps to a degree, but it's to me two different categories, two
Wait,
different
then
disciplines.
what is design then for you?
Design to me is something that you plan that is based on more or less rules, and there is actually some rules and principles you have to or should abide by to make it work. Design for me is more of like it has an intention, an effect that is not intrinsic of the designer, but it tries to design for other people. While art for me, of course, you can do art to evoke certain emotions in other people, but art for me is more an emotional expression of the artist, and design is an expression or like design of a product or whatever for the people and not for the artist. That's where
Wow.
I see the differences.
Wow, I've never thought about it that way. That's crazy. That makes a lot of sense because obviously, I mean, I don't know, I'm sitting at a table right now, so I guess you could have that as an example, but that's true because a table in and of itself, the design of a table is not necessarily is actually probably almost never the expression of the person who designed it necessarily. It
Yeah,
was more like, hey, can you
probably.
please design a table that looks similar to this, or maybe it should be, I
Yeah.
see. Okay, that's so interesting. And like, and I visited your website. So I
Hmm.
just looked a bit at it, and I loved how in the beginning when you land at the landing page, it's kind of like you're talking directly to the reader. You're talking directly to the
Yes.
customer. And I love that. Like, it's this immediately I felt like engaged. I know you have a marketing background as well, and me too, actually.
Yeah.
But I think that's so cool how you just directly talk to people in that first prompt already. Like, I mean, the
Yeah.
first, like, moment you land on your page, it's like a connection. And obviously the design looks amazing. I'm just like, while I have you here, I'd love to ask you,
Thank you.
what's your thought process there? I mean, does it just come naturally? Because you have very great, like, I don't even know if my English is now Japanese, but in Japanese we say like sense ga like you have a great
Mm.
sense of like what looks good. Where does that come from?
Well, first of all, thank you. Really appreciate it. And that's actually a very good question. So I would say to a degree, and that probably comes from my mom, like an innate, I don't want to say it's a talent because it's not, but like more of an ability, so to speak. But like you probably heard of like the designer's eye. And I think it's with any ability, any talent, any skill, there can be people who have a slight advantage just by their, I don't know, genetics or whatever, or just like how they've been raised. I think if you've been raised in a very design oriented environment, you probably will have a very different view on design and a very different eye for design than someone who hasn't. And I think that is kind of what happened to me because especially my mom is also very design oriented and loves design. Maybe not always the same design that I do, but it does coincide a lot. So I think I got a lot of that through her, but it took me quite a while to, I don't know, awaken it. I think when I turned like 16-ish, maybe a bit later, I got into fashion as like my first design category where I really paid attention to it, to like the intricacies. And I was put onto that because of my mom. And that's where things got even, I don't want to say worse, but because I got too much into design, but where things started to just evolve into very different design directions. And again, so that is like my starting point, and I think I got a good starting point because of mainly my mom and my environment then.